Long Walk, adapted from a Stephen King novel, is in theaters this weekend. And if patience is a virtue, The Long Walk is practically sainthood on film. Sitting at a mighty, what is it, 98% on the tomato meter, 90% on the tomato meter. Wow. 86 by the audience. That's some pretty good ratings for The Long Walk. People have seemed to respond to this film. But for me, I would say that it's about, while it's a really good film, it's about 98% good. This movie is a testament to how far great acting can carry a story, because it's basically all acting as this story pans out. So, yeah, even if the premise occasionally stops to tie its shoes, as some do, it forgets why it left the house in the first place, meaning that these kids sign up for this long walk to inspire the nation. But if you slow down and you can't keep up, you get terminated. And it's a story from Stephen King, so you know that it's going to be edgy, and it is. And it suffers a little bit, I would say, from the runtime. The runtime in this is just an hour and 48 minutes. And the synopsis on the IMDb reads, a group of teenage boys compete in an annual contest known as the Long Walk, where they must maintain a certain walking speed or get shot. But then the last one standing gets a wish and a whole bunch of money, kind of thing, right? So right from the beginning, the performances grab you, the leads commit hard to this, and if you don't buy them, then you're not going to be on board here. Cooper Hoffman is the main character that we follow here, but it's supplemented here by David Johnson, who's just phenomenal in this film. And if you don't know who David Johnson, or you don't recognize him, he was in Alien Romulus last year. But it's clear from this movie, this guy is going to be a big star. He's just got that it factor. He truly is the standout. And if you like that Karate Kid movie that came out this year, Ben Wang is also in this. So they try to lean in on the ensemble part of this film, but I feel like it's trying to give you a message about something, all right? About in human standards in times of direness, right? Bleakness. And you definitely see that in the trailers of why these people are doing this. Like they want to give money to their families, or they want to inspire people. But some of them are not reacting all that well to what's going on. Mark Hamill comes in as kind of like the marshal here, the general that's leading all of the kids down their road and administering the punishment if they step out of line, kind of thing. And the movie does ask you to make that leap of faith of disbelief, right? The suspension of disbelief here. And for me, this is about the 2% here that I'm talking about, where the film kind of, it stretches it a little bit. Because as humans, okay, we can stay awake for a while, but after being awake for a while, like I think it is after at least 40 hours, your brain starts to shut down anyway and starts to go to sleep. And your eyes will still be awake, but your brain just shuts off and goes to sleep. I wish the movie spent a little bit more time dealing with that kind of thing. It's kind of like, people are just falling because they're tired, or, they got to take a number 2. Right? It does address those issues, like what do you got to do when you go to the bathroom, kind of thing. But then it's kind of like people just have enough of it. And do you really believe that people can walk hundreds and hundreds of miles without stopping? I wanted to see a little bit more fatigue on them. Like your face would look like it's super tired. And it's not tired on some of them until it's like 300 miles. And it's like, really? Really? So it's just minor things like that, right? Minor things like that. And then for me, closing the loop on the story, the conclusion rubbed me a bit of the wrong way. I was not happy with the conclusion. of this. And it's going to work for some. This is a tragic story because right from the get-go, you know that these kids know exactly what they're signing up for. They know that they're leaving their families behind. They know that if they can't keep up, they're going to get shot, right? They know this. So you know that if there's only going to be one standing at the end, it's going to be a grim finale. And it's going to work for some, but it's not going to be for others. It's kind of like a story of, well, who's going to last? Who's going to be the next one to fall, kind of thing. And they kind of echo that in the movie. All right, let's go over to my score sheet here and start filling out some numbers for The Long Walk before we go over to the tomato meter and take a look at some of the critics' reviews. Acting, directing, and story out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of, well, 1 point each. And I gotta say, acting is good. The acting is phenomenal in this, and from the two actors in the front there, I'm going to give it a full 1.5, and I reserve the right to give it a full 2 points because of the ensemble. And in fact, I think I will. I'm going to give it a full 2 points because of that ensemble cast. Like they're struggling to keep each other awake. They help each other when they're falling down and stuff like that. But I felt at times like some of them were maybe a little too hammy. That's fine. Directing, Francis Lawrence, who did the Hunger Games movies. I'm going to give it right down the middle for the directing because the technical aspects are done fairly well. And I'm happy that this director was a big fan of the shaky cam stuff. And you watch his Hunger Games movies, it's shaky cam, shaky cam, shaky cam. In this, they're giving us a lot of wide shots of them walking through various different backgrounds, roads, and stuff like that. It's smooth. You believe that, oh yeah, the countryside's, it's tangible. That's right. It's tangible, and the death that haunts them is tangible. So the technical aspects on this are fairly well executed by the director, but it comes down to the story. And if you don't buy into these characters and you don't say, okay, I like this character, I'm rooting for this character, then it may not work for you because the premise is a great premise. It's a premise that's really curious. It grabs your curiosity right off the bat, kind of like the way that Weapons did, right? Like, what happened to all these kids in the middle of the night? Well, how are these kids going to survive this big, long walk kind of thing, right? Who's going to be the last one standing? It's always gripping you on the next turn as to, okay, who's going to be next? Please not this character. Please not this character kind of thing, right? So if you don't buy into that, then you're not going to be on board for it. But if you can, I think the story had a really good chance to deliver something to us that was really cool. And as I said, that ending moment, like the person who wins and stuff, I felt like it undermined what they were trying to set up. And for me, it didn't work. And for a lot of people, it may work because it's a story, I guess, of, yes, tragedy, right? 1.5 for the story. Directing, I may come back to. Cinematography, I'm going to give a full 2 points too. Because how do you make these kids just walking on a road interesting? And it pays off because of those grand, wide shots of them walking through territories and stuff like that. It just felt otherworldly at times, even though that you would see a train coming down the mountainside and stuff like that in the background. It felt post-apocalyptic, even though it wasn't. You were seeing green fields, big cornfields and stuff like that. It just felt they were able to sell that kind of direness of the society, right? And without us actually seeing what was actually happening with the rest of society. So I felt like that was fairly well done, and a lot of that had to do with the cinematography to set the tone for it. The score, for me, was serviceable. So we're sitting at a 6 out of 10 right now without the watchability factor. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about The Long Walk. And, well, as we saw, 90% by critics, 86% by the audience. But let's go down to the critics here and see what they're saying. So somebody who didn't like it, 2 points out of 5. from the Daily Telegraph. It's not that the film doesn't work. Indeed, parts are rather good. Yes, they are. But that it ultimately and fundamentally can't, given what it actually is. What? What are you talking about? All right. Washington Post. The long walk, the long talk is more like it. Yeah, guys. Guys, if you're thinking like this is going to be a big actioner, something that's going to be like a big action set piece, no. Or if you think that it's going to be maybe a little bit like Stand By Me, another Stephen King adaptation of these kids walking to see a body. This one's just these kids walking to try to stay alive. They're not going to cut away to politicians talking about the situation and give us some irrelevant information. They try to give us hints of what the society's like. But for the most part, you look at it, it looks like a period piece of some kind. Like, look at the cars on the street. It feeds your curiosity fairly well. Like, okay, well, why isn't the rest of the road working? Where are the rest of the cars? I don't see people in the fields, kind of thing, right? Because economically, the society around them is crumbling. They need to inspire people, and one of the ways that they inspire people is by participating in this long walk. I'm not a big fan of that. Let's go down to the audience and see what the audience are saying. The struggle, the pain, the sacrifice, the survivor, great movie. So there you go. If that's what you want to see, who's the survivor at the end, then this movie will work for you. The movie is a roller coaster of emotions that will never end, a truly masterpiece. Okay, I want to see a fan who didn't like it. Very strong emotion, amazing, looked expected ending. Expected ending? I don't know. Let's go over to the critics here and take a look at what Perry Nemiroff wrote, because I'm a big fan of hers. And I trust her judgment. One of the things I found most remarkable about the movie is how it still manages to be soulful and have its heart firmly in the best possible place while wading into darkness. Well, yeah, we're going into some dark places because you're walking beside people that you want to have fall down and die. And then it does sort of deal with that kind of thing, right? Well, guys, there can only be one winner here. Who's going to be the first one to fall down? The Long Walk is the most heart-wrenching film you'll see this year. No, it's not the most heart-wrenching. There's definitely a lot more that I felt like was heart-wrenching. And Chris Schobert in the live chat said Life of Chuck also had Mark Hamill in it. And I would say Life of Chuck is a little bit more heart-wrenching than this one. I'm just scrolling here to see if there's any other big reviews here that I wanted to see. In a crowded field of these types of stories, The Long Walk is happy to keep pace in middle of the pack before puttering out a little way from the finish line. And that's what I'm talking about, the ending there. See, now that's a good criticism to augment about what I'm talking about here, where it's going to work for some, but it's not going to work for everybody. And as I said, 98% of this film is it's really well done. I thought I saw Jeremy Johns on here, but I guess I don't want to spend too much time scrolling. Although, James, you could cut it out afterwards. I suppose I can't I? Bibiani, it's not that The Long Walk has made walking terrifying, although certainly it's a fraught and frightening walk. It's that it makes every trudge through every day remind us of torture. Yeah. And if I were to get blunt about the walking thing, guys, you're not walking 300 miles. You're just not. Have you not seen that video of normal people walking, and then that drunk guy comes up and says, you walk a certain distance after a certain day and you're not ready for it. You're not going to be strutting that ass. Strut that ass. Strut that. You must have heard that video, right? You're going to be half dead by even half the day. Like most of us, even over an hour, are going to tap out. Like our bodies, like if you're not training for it, you can't really do it. Now, that doesn't mean that these kids weren't training for it, but It does raise some questions like that of, like, really, guys, really? Let's go back to the score sheet here and wrap my score sheet up for The Long Walk. Watchability factor, the premise, the hook alone, I think should be enough to get people intrigued and into the theaters. So that's a full point there. Is it worth watching again? Yes, because of the acting. And I think it is worth watching again to see how that ending sits with me after I digest it for a couple of days, right? Now, I think because I was talking about the pacing and how they set up the characters and stuff like that up till now, I'm going to go back to the directing, and I'll give it 1.5 there as well. And that puts us at 8 out of 10 for The Long Walk. And I think that's where it goes. I think that's where I would put The Long Walk. Because I kind of... It's not one where you want to watch it over and over again. Because it's bleak. It's definitely bleak, but it's worth watching for sure. 8 out of 10 for The Long Walk. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, we just reacted and reviewed the Downton Abbey movie that's also out right now. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains.